Alright, so in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the Stephen Curry builds that I made at Community Day on NBA 2K25. Now, the big thing that I want to point out here today is we are going to be looking at two Stephen Curry builds. Obviously, Stephen Curry is known for being one of the greatest shooters, if not the greatest shooter of all time. So we're going to look at two Curry builds today. One that gets a 96 three-pointer with a little bit more attributes spread around the rest of the builder, and then another Steph Curry build that gets a 99 three-point shot with every legend shooting badge on NBA 2K25. But we're going to start things off here with a 96 three-point Curry build. We're going to get an 88 driving layup, which does get you float game on gold. And now with a three-point shot, we're going to go all the way up to a 96. That's going to get you 4 out of the 5 shooting badges on Hall of Fame. So we're going to get Deadeye, Limitless Range, Set Shot Specialist, and Shifty Shooter all on Hall of Fame with this build. And the Mini Marksman, we're only getting on gold. You can get it to Hall of Fame if you go with the 97 three-pointer, but that was pretty expensive in this builder. Didn't want to go for the 97 3, so if you want on your build, you can probably cap breaker it, or you could cap breaker on this version of the build all the way to 99 if you want to, which again, and I think this build is going to be the great starting point for a lot of PG build because you get a lot on offense and you still have the opportunity to still get a 99 three-pointer with this build, which means you would get every single shooting badge on the legend level. 96 three-point shot. Big thing that I want to point out too here is that mid-range shot, it gets pulled all the way up to an 86 just because of the 96 3. So it's a 10 gap this year. Last year was a little bit more, so I think it would only get pulled up to like an 82 or an 81 at this rating. So mid-range shot's going to get pulled up a lot more as you increase your three-point rating, and there's a lot more attributes tethered as well. So this close shot, I couldn't put any lower. It's up to a 71. I forget exactly what brought this up, but close shot's going to be pretty high on a lot of builds this year simply because of it being tethered to other things. Okay, so now for the playmaking, we went with an 89 pass accuracy, gets you bronze bailout, silver versatile visionary, gold break starter, and gold dimer. Now we ended up going with that 89 pass rating specifically because that was the threshold for Tyrese Halliburton's pass style last year, which was the best pass style in the game. Kind of just use that as a tipping off point. We don't know if that's what the rating's going to be at because at the time of me recording this video, we have no idea what any attribute requirements are for any animations, but 89 is a good starting point for pass accuracy. And for the ball handle, we went with a 95 on this build. That's going to get you handles for days on Hall of Fame, and you're also going to get ankle assassin on Hall of Fame with this build. You're also going to get gold unpluckable. Now, the crazy thing is with how this build is set up, if you get 2 sets of cap breakers, right? So if you get 10 cap breakers, you can pretty much upgrade your three-point shot all the way to a 99 and your ball handle to a 99 on this specific build and still keep everything else. So with cap breakers, this build could become even more crazy, but just with how it is right now, it even still is really good. So 95 ball handle. And then for the speed with ball, we're going to have a 91, which gets you lightning launch on Hall of Fame. The legend level is going to be at a 94. So again, if you want to upgrade it to a 94, you can, or if you want to do some cap breakers, you can get your speed with ball up to a 94 to get that legend lightning launch. Now moving on to the perimeter defense, we're going to have a 71 Prim D, gets you bronze challenger. On ball menace is at a 74 requirement. Didn't really want to put that up all the way to get just bronze on ball menace, which is this year's clamps badge. Don't get pick dodger, but we do get silver off ball pass. Defensively, this build is not going to be great. This is an offensive oriented, 3 hunting, run through screens, run off ball, Steph Curry type of build. But then the big thing here is we still get a 73 steal. We're going to get a 73 steal on this build, which is going to get you bronze glove and silver interceptor. So you have an offensive oriented PG like this while still getting a 73 steal, which gets you interceptor on silver. That's going to be a really big thing. Another thing I want to mention really quickly with the ball handle, I went with a 95 simply because that was the threshold for handles for days on Hall of Fame. And it was also the tipping point where like most builds last year would put their ball handle to, because 95 is what you needed for Steve Francis, was what you needed for other badges. So a lot of meta PGs last year had a 95 ball handle. So that's what I went with on this year's build. But again, man, 96 3, 95 ball handle, 91 speed with ball. You get some cap breakers on this thing. You could be looking at something that gets a 99 3, 99 ball handle, 94 speed with ball. You have Hall of Fame lightning launch, Hall of Fame shooting badges, Hall of Fame playmaking badges, and you will be absolutely insane. Still have an 88 driving layup, which gets you float game on goal, which is pretty cool. And then moving on down here to the speed, we got to talk about the physicals actually for a little bit on this build. Speed is just going to be an 86. I think this was just the minimum requirement it got pulled up to, with the speed with ball getting pulled up to a 91. So 86 speed probably could go a little higher. This is another place you can really take advantage of cap breakers and just start slamming up your speed. And then for the agility we got to talk about too, because agility, you need at least a 76 agility to get shifty shooter on Hall of Fame. That was a big thing they did with this year's shooting badges and whatnot. You can see there are a lot of badges tied to agility. So you need slippery off ball. And hey, here's something I messed out on right here. Could have put the agility up one higher, get slippery off ball on gold. We'll have to see if that badge is any good, if it's worth it and whatnot. But you can get slippery off ball on gold by just putting that agility one higher. So I could have probably dropped the vertical a little bit, get 77 agility, but I didn't notice that at the time. So on ball menace, don't get pick dodger, don't get Prim D's not high enough, but 71 Prim's still gonna be okay. We get bronze challenger. We'll be able to challenge stuff, move a little bit on the perimeter, might get blown by here and there, but still, the defense is not terrible on this build. Having 70-something prim with a 70-something steal with the offensive attributes that this build gets is pretty freaking insane. But yeah, that's going to be pretty much it for this first build. Obviously, again, this is just a template I made at Community Day. Just quickly looking at the build, we're going to get shades of Kemba, Trey, and Steph Curry. We're going to get the build name as we come out of this My Player Builder right here. We're going to get the build name of Shot Creating 3-Level Threat. So now let's take a look at the 99.3 Curry build, which I still think is really good. All right, so now let's take a look at this 6'2" PG for Stephen Curry that gets a 99 3-point shot. Like I mentioned last time, the attributes are going to be tethered a little bit more, so an 89 mid-range shot cannot go any lower than that. And the big thing with 99.3 in this year's game, and I think 99.3 is going to be really worth it for a lot of people, is that 4 out of these 5 shooting badges right here jump from Hall of Fame to Legend once you hit 99. So Set Shot Specialist isn't one of them, but Shifty Shooter, Mini Marksman, Limitless, and Deadeye all jump from Hall of Fame to Legend when you go move your 3-pointer from 98 to 99. So that 99 3-pointer is super valuable because you get 4 out of the 5 shooting badges jumping from Hall of Fame to Legend at that attribute threshold. So whether you just upgrade it naturally in the builder or you take advantage of it with cap breakers, if you really want to have the craziest shooting experience possible, 99.3 is probably going to be worth it this year on paper, simply because of how many badges you get on that Legend level by having a 99.3. This version of the build is going to have less pass accuracy. It's only an 85, but that gets you Balon on bronze, Versatile Visionary on bronze, and still Gold Dimer. Should be a decent pass accuracy rating, probably for like the elite levels of 2K. Like if you want to play competitive pro, you probably want to go a little bit higher, that 89 to like low 90s range. And then, okay, so actually one quick adjustment here. Didn't get to mention this earlier on, but with the ball handle being a 94 on this build, you actually do get Hall of Fame handles for days. It's the 95 ball handle requirement for Ankle Assassin on Hall of Fame. So when I mentioned earlier, 95 ball handle for Hall of Fame handles for days, that wasn't actually true. That would be Ankle Assassin on Hall of Fame, but you can get handles for days on Hall of Fame with a 94 ball handle. So this build already gets all the Legend shooting badges with handles for days on Hall of Fame, and with an 86 speed with ball, you're going to be able to get Lightning Launch on gold. Again, trying to make room for the 99 3-pointer is kind of expensive, which is why I don't think this build should be made the way that it is. I think the best way to make this type of build is with cap breakers. Getting that 99 3-pointer through cap breakers is going to be way better than trying to just upgrade its stock in the builder. And I don't think 3-pointer is something, the 3-point shooting badges is something you will want to max +1, simply because with adding cap breakers to a build, you can get 5 shooting badges upgraded from one level to the next by going from 98 to 99.3. So I think when it comes to upgrading your 3-pointers to those super high levels, I think the smartest way to do it is with cap breakers. Speed with ball, like we mentioned, 86 is going to get you gold Lightning Launch. Don't know what animations we get with an 86 speed with ball. Probably still have to go really high, probably still have to go in the 90s anyways just to get good animations. But again, this is just a little Curry build that we're trying to cook up with the 99.3. 58 perimeter defense gets you bronze off-ball pass just like in this year's game, and 60 steal will get you bronze interceptor just like on NBA 2K24. Now, big thing here with the agility, like I mentioned in all my previous videos, you need agility to unlock the Shifty Shooter badge on higher levels, and on this game, you need an 82 agility in order to unlock Shifty Shooter on Legend. So if you're making a 3 hunting build with like super high 3-pointer, you're going to need agility. Most people that try and go for this badge on Hall of Fame, you need 76. And then if you want that Legend badge, you need 82 agility in order to get Shifty Shooter on Legend. That's pretty much it for this build. So now coming out of the My Player Builder with this build, you get shades of BJ Armstrong, Stephen Curry, and Trey Young. So still get those Curry shades, which is really nice. And we're going to get the build name Shot Creating 3-Level Threat once again. So that's going to be it for today's. I hope you guys enjoyed taking a look at these Stephen Curry builds on NBA 2K25. And if you want to see really more cool builds on my channel, I highly recommend you go check out my Kevin Durant build video, which we dropped yesterday. The link to that's going to pop up on the screen right now.